Hi everyone, welcome to another video. If you're new here, my name is Jen and I'm excited for this video for two reasons. One is I have a huge announcement, at least it's huge for me. I hope it's exciting for you too. It has to do with this backdrop behind me and I'm going to tell you that in just a second. But also because I get to go over how I plan our homeschool year. What do I do to plan out our year? Do I plan smaller chunks as well? Do I plan out vacations? Do I plan out what we need for the semester? All of those questions are going to be answered in this video.
You look so beautiful, and I'm so lucky to be yours. And you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you.
Okay, first I'm going to start with the announcement. If you are not here for that, you just want to know what I'm doing for planning, you don't really care what the announcement is, that's totally fine. Skip forward to this time, and that's kind of where all of that content will begin. If you see lighting change, I'm sorry, it's cloudy and so it keeps going back and forth. But my big announcement is that I am starting a second YouTube channel and it is going to be a tutoring channel. This has been in the works. This has been like a brainchild of mine since I started this channel a couple years ago. And it was just kind of an idea that I bounced around in my head. In case you aren't aware, I am a tutor for middle and high school students. So I help them in my home to understand, primarily it's math. I do tutor almost every subject, but mostly students are needing the most help in math. And that's what I love the most, so it works out perfectly. But since 2012, I have had my own tutoring business. My sister was kind of my first student. Before that, she graduated high school in 2008. So the last couple years of high school, I helped her out. And starting with her, and almost all of my students since then have said that I have a way to explain things, explain how to do these math problems that just clicks. And I don't know what it is. I have no idea what I do differently. I know that I try to play on the strengths and weaknesses of students and explain things in different ways, give little tips and tricks. So I don't know, maybe that's it. But I have been able to help a lot of people, and that warms my heart because I love school, especially math, and to be able to help create a little bit of a love of that in students has been a passion of mine. So I was always wanting a way to help more people. I'm only one person and I can't do that on my own. So I toyed around with the idea like 3-4 years ago of maybe eventually opening my own brick and mortar business and hiring other tutors and training them as well. But I just have a hard time trusting that other people will do the job that I would do. So and plus all the logistics of starting a business, I wasn't really quite excited about that, especially having young kids and knowing we were building our family, and that takes up a lot of time as well. So that got put to the back burner. But then the pandemic hit and I started tutoring virtually with the students that I already had. And I was like, hey, this could be something I could tutor a lot. I could tutor people from other states and stuff like that virtually. And as I kind of toyed around with that and found tips and tricks that helped make the process go smoother with virtual tutoring, I decided that just wasn't going to be something that was right for me. I had a baby and he's now 1, but he's very needy, maybe even more so than as a baby. And just being able to sit for an hour at a time and be dedicated to someone without interruption, because they're paying good money for that, so it would have to be without interruption, was just not feasible for me, and it's not at this point in life. Maybe in the future that might be something that I do, but for now, that doesn't work. So cue YouTube. I'm already familiar with this platform. This platform can reach people worldwide. I have come to know people that I never would have known otherwise, and I've come to consider many of you to be friends, and it's been such a great community building thing that I was like, this might be perfect for tutoring. So the new channel is called Shine Tutoring. It is up and ready to go. There are, as of the filming of this video that you're watching right now, there are no videos on it quite yet. There could be by the time you're seeing this, depending on how quickly I get this edited and get those videos edited. But I'm basically batch filming 5 to 10 Algebra 1 videos to start with. But I'm basically following a normal standard algebra textbook and the way that it goes through to teach the different subjects and putting up videos like that, so that I'm hopefully helping people in Algebra 1 as they're going through this year. And then of course I will be expanding on that and doing geometry, Algebra 2, calculus, pre-calculus, trig, all of that fun stuff eventually over the next couple years. depending on how quickly things move, and hopefully be able to help a lot of people. I got a shirt made that I'm going to be wearing for all the videos. It has my logo, Shine Tutoring, and SHINE is an acronym for Simplify, Help, Inspire, Nurture, and Encourage. If you're curious how I came up with that name, let me know in the comments and I'll let you know down below, because it's not a long story, but kind of a little bit long for this, and I've already been talking forever because I'm so excited about this. But that's my big announcement. You can already go over and subscribe if you would like to. If there are no videos, you can still subscribe and just be waiting for them. You can turn the bell on so that you know when they are posted, and pass this on to anybody you know with kids in Algebra 1 who might be struggling, because they can definitely comment or message me and let me know what they're struggling with, and I can make sure I focus on getting those videos out sooner. So I thank you ahead of time for your support. I'm excited. But now let's get into homeschool planning. Okay, this is my second year of full planning, and both years I have used the Happy Planner, and I use this for my personal planning, have for years, and I love it, so I figured why change it. So I also love this, and I got the layout that has the days kind of listed like this. So we have the days listed on the side, and then we have different rows of places to write in, and you could do this a lot of different ways, like a lot of different ways, but I'm going to show you how I do it in a minute. But first I'm going to start with yearly. So the first thing I do when I know that we're going to start gearing up for homeschool again, and we homeschool year round, but we do take like a 6-week break in the summer. This summer it was a little bit longer because I needed it. But what I do is this little layout in the front shows you the months and the days of each month. So it just has it listed. There we go. Now you can see it. So it has each of the months. And so I know that we're going to be camping for certain weeks. I know we're going to be on holiday breaks for certain weeks. I know we're taking certain days off that are important to us to celebrate, like birthdays and stuff like that. So I kind of just mark out when we're having no school, when our first day of school is, and when the end of quarter 1 will be. And the way I decide quarters, and I actually was inspired to use quarters. This is the first year I am doing a quarterly system. Last year it was kind of just, let's just do something every day and get stuff done, and whenever we end is when we end. But because Bailey's going into 3rd grade and she is 8, and that's the age of compulsory education in Washington State, I figured let me make it a little bit more structured, especially because she thrives on structure. Bailey loves structure. She does better that way. So basically I wrote in the weeks of school. So we have week 1, 2, the numbers with the circles are the weeks, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to week 9, which will be the end of quarter 1, because we do 36 weeks. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So the end of quarter 1 will be November 5th for us. And so that will really allow me to kind of like at the end of each quarter, take a look back on what we've accomplished. I'm not really worried about like, are we ahead or are we behind? Like, I'm not worried about that. We're still going to be moving at the pace we want to be moving at, but that will just allow me to look back each quarter and see where we are, what we've accomplished. I know that we're going to be taking a total of 16 weeks off throughout the year. I know we take a roughly 6 of those weeks in one chunk during the summertime when we're going to be camping and all the birthday parties happen and stuff, just because it's so hectic. It's just not productive to try to get anything done anyways, so we do more fun stuff. And I have a video on what this last summer's homeschool plans were, if you're interested to know what we've been doing this summer. But I know we have obviously a few weeks during Christmas and things like that, but then that allows me to know, okay, I've used up 8 of the weeks that we have planned. We have 8 left. So if we're getting burnt out and it's early November and we finished quarter 1 and we're supposed to just start with quarter 2 the following week, but maybe we just need a break, we can take a week break or 2 if we want to. And it just allows a lot of flexibility. If we're enjoying the holiday break, then we can add on a week to that and be okay, because we have plenty of time to be able to do that. So I like having a plan. I like having a layout, but I also like the flexibility in being able to choose when and where we do things as things come, and not having everything set in stone before we even start, if that makes sense. Okay, and then for smaller scale planning, I do 1 to 2 weeks at a time. And I say that because I do 2 weeks at a time of supply and book prep. So I go through all of our curriculum choices and see what are we going to be doing over the next 2 weeks and what supplementary books do we need for those things. Mainly it's history and science, but also like maybe we're doing something in math that I think there could be a book that would help cement that in or something. And then I go to my library's website and reserve all those books. That way we're not having to go there every single week, and I'm not risking not getting the books in that I need. So I do 2 weeks at a time, like a rolling 2-week period, so that I can have those books from the library. And then I also do 2 weeks of manipulative prep. So I have any manipulatives that I need for that 2-week period. I make sure they're all in one bin for that subject so that we don't have to search around the house for anything. And then also some of our things include recipes and things to make. So I always want to make sure I have those on hand and can put those in our grocery order as well. But for actual curriculum, like what lesson are we doing what day, I only do 1 week in advance, and that's just because that can change so much. We have, like I said, a lot of flexibility. We have a 3rd grader and a 1st grader coming up here, and my 1st grader, Quinn, is very free-spirited. She probably has definitely less than an hour of curriculum each day, but maybe even more like 30 minutes because she's not required to do the family subjects. She usually chooses to, but she is not required to. But this is what we do for our weekly plan. So let's see if that'll focus. So basically I have each subject written along the top right there. And then I do one girl in pink, which is Quinn this time, and one in a different color, and then family subjects in a different color as well. So this time I have family subjects in green. And I just kind of write out, if we're doing, you know, having the most perfect day I could imagine, these are the things that I would like to get done each day. And that's kind of how we work it. Reading for Quinn, language arts for Bailey, math for both, handwriting for both, and music for both are things that we do daily. But like I said, those don't take up, especially for Quinn, a lot of time. It might be more like an hour to 2 hours for Bailey, depending on how involved the lessons are that day. And then Bailey does grammar 2 to 3 times a week. She actually got super excited and brought her grammar book up into her bed, and she finished like a lot of her grammar book already. So we're not doing any of that the first few weeks. We're going to kind of ease in, and then once we're in a good rhythm, we'll put that back in 2 to 3 days a week. And then Bailey does typing as well. I usually have her do 2 lessons a week, so that depends on like how quickly she gets through them basically. And that's going to start in October as well. That's kind of like the slow start thing, number 2. And then for the family subjects, we have history, geography, art, science, and Spanish, and those are things that we rotate. We don't have like a certain day where we do like science every Monday or anything like that. We just have a rotation where, okay, last time we did history, next is science, next is geography, next is Spanish, whatever the case may be. And we try to do Spanish at least twice a week, so that's in the rotation twice, but everything else we usually do about once a week. So that is all I do for weekly planning. I went over what I do for yearly planning. I went over how I'm going to break it into quarters, and then I went over how I gather all of our manipulatives and books 2 weeks at a time so that I'm not so stressed out. So now I'm going to show you the system I have in place for the girls to track their progress. Okay, this is the girls' progress chart that I made, and I just bought this one of these, like, I think it's an attendance tracker thing from Hobby Lobby. I think I got this from, and I just added washi tape and added their names to it. And then what I did is I added in each of their curriculum that is their own. So Bailey has language arts, math, handwriting, and grammar, and Quinn has reading, math, and handwriting. And then I wrote out all of the lesson numbers, and Q for quiz, and REV for reviews. And each day that they complete one, there are little circle stickers that I got that they can choose a circle color and put it on the lesson that they did, so that they can visually see their progress as well as they go throughout the year. So I'm really excited for this because they really thrive on this progress and being able to see changes and see how they're doing. So that is it for today's video. I hope this was helpful for you if you're looking for ideas on how to plan, or just insightful if you're wondering how we do things. I hope to see you over on my tutoring channel if that's something that's relevant to you. But for now, remember to stay humble, be kind, and I will see you next time.
Jump into the car on a